But first, the big story that is breaking here on the news today at 9. 10 people have now been detained, but there still hasn't been a single arrest in the shocking gang rape of a 71-year-old nun in Bengal's Nadia district. The anger has now spilt on the streets. Highways have been blocked. Across the country, there have been signs of solidarity. Mamata Banerjee first attempted to placate the crowd, who was infuriated and blocked and sloganeered against her. She has promised strongest action will be taken against the perpetrators who have been chanting, "Mamata, go back." Remember, a 71-year-old nun was gang raped in Nadia on Saturday. A CID probe has been ordered into the incident. But those are the pictures that are coming in as we speak. When Mamata went into Nadia, protesters gathering and telling her to go back. Indrajit has our top story tonight.
Anger over Bengal nuns gang rape spilling over. Locals gherawing Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's convoy demand justice for the 72-year-old nun. Mamata's promise of bringing the culprits to book clearly not cutting much ice with the protesters.
Unprecedented protest being faced by the West Bengal Chief Minister as she has been blocked for the past 30 minutes by protesters here on National Highway 34. The DGP himself trying to clear the blockade.
While 10 people have been detained in the case, no arrests have been made so far. 2 days after the Bengal nuns' gang rape, West Bengal Chief Minister visiting the convent school in Nadia promising action.
They have detained some people. We are verifying and response is coming.
The nuns' gang rape also echoing in Parliament, Left and TMC clearly hinting at an emboldened right wing. The nun, meanwhile, recovering in hospital, even praying for forgiveness of her culprits. Bureau Report, headlines today.
This shocker from Bengal is our top story tonight. The nun who has been gang raped in Bengal, 71-year-old. Is it a communal attack as is being described by some, or simply a local crime which is now being sought to be politicized? I want to go first to Indrajit, who joins us. Our correspondent is joining us, Indrajit Kundu, from the ground. Indrajit, tell us exactly what is happening at the moment. Just a few minutes ago when we spoke to you, you said there were large crowds that had blocked Mamata Banerjee's convoy. Has Mamata Banerjee's convoy been allowed to go there now? And has some kind of peace and law and order returned to Nadia at the moment?
Well, Rajdeep, unprecedented scenes, we were confronted with unprecedented scenes right in front of this. This is the convent that we are talking about, and right adjacent to the convent is the National Highway 34. Now, when Mamata Banerjee first came here, there was information that there is going to be protest and she might be greeted with one. So her convoy was stuck there in the protest. When she entered, she had to walk and enter the school. Now, later on, she faced another round of protests in which her convoy got stuck for about an hour. Mamata Banerjee had to listen to all the jeering, all the sloganeering from not only, the students, but even locals who had joined in large numbers, pretty agitated. And the entire police machinery, her security apparatus seemed absolutely helpless in front of that protest. The DGP was seen himself trying to manage the crowd, and finally, they tried and escorted Mamata Banerjee after an hour getting stuck in that entire protest. So a ground reality check perhaps as far as women's security is concerned for the Chief Minister, because if you remember...
Indrajit, I want to know though, CCTV pictures have been released and we'll play those pictures of the alleged rapists or dacoits who are allegedly behind this dastardly crime, but no arrests have been made. 10 people detained. What do we know about the police investigation so far?
Well, the police seems to be scampering in the darkness as far as the investigation is concerned. Initially the number of detainees were 8. Now the DGP tells us that there are 10 detainees now. We are learning from police sources that they have not been able to make much headway as far as identifying these people are concerned. And we are also learning that the people who have been detained as far as the police is concerned, none of them has resemblance to the ones that are there in the CCTV. Now there are chances that they may have fled to other states, given that Nadia has a porous border with other states. So the Chief Minister, when she came here, she did lay impetus on search operations being carried out in other states as well. But at this point in time, the police has really very little to show. It's been 48 hours. That's what the locals had set the target for the administration, and they have miserably failed at that.
How is it playing out politically on the ground, though, Indranil? We are told that the BJP local unit and others are going to use this opportunity to target Mamata Banerjee, calling it a breakdown in law and order.
Well, absolutely. The entire opposition seems to have united as far as slamming the government is concerned. From the government's very beginning, the response have been, they have been blaming, not even naming the BJP, but they have been blaming the right-wing forces. Firhad Hakim, a senior minister, claiming that it was a result of Ghar Wapsi. The education minister saying that it was a conspiracy to malign the government. Right. So the government's approach has only given way to much more protest by the opposition, with the left delegation coming here, the BJP delegation coming here, and the Congress delegation today, which finally resulted in such massive protests, which many would say was infiltrated by some of the opposition members.
Okay, Indrajit, you're giving us an update. We hope to be joined by Derek O'Brien of the Trinamool Congress shortly to get an official perspective of the Trinamool Congress to what has happened there on the ground in Nadia district. But I just want to, for a moment, also give you what else has been happening in the context of what are being seen as growing attacks on Christians. That's at least how some people are seeing it. Former top policeman from Mumbai, Julio Ribeiro, is the one who has spoken out. Today, in an article that he has written, Mr. Ribeiro, the 86-year-old Mr. Ribeiro, has said he feels threatened, unwanted, and feels like a stranger in his own country. He says, and I quote now from that article that he wrote today in the Indian Express, "The same category of citizens who had put their trust in me to rescue them from a force they could not comprehend have now come out of the woodwork to condemn me for practicing a religion that is different from theirs. I'm not an Indian anymore, at least in the proponents of the Hindu Rashtra." And he has also, in that sense, questioned the entire basis of the attacks on Christians in that article. Julio Ribeiro will be joining us in a moment, but I'm told that Derek O'Brien is going to join us. But first, let's go to Julio Ribeiro. Julio Ribeiro, the big question to you: what prompted you to write this article suggesting, Mr. Ribeiro, that you are on the hit list of the Sangh Parivar, that you have become a stranger in your own country? What prompted you, Mr. Ribeiro, to write this article?
Well, the hit list part of it is not my words. I think it is something that has been done. I don't know about the hit list part of it. It might be a little exaggerated, but I certainly feel that there is a problem, and that has to be solved. It has to be solved by the government in power. They have made the Christian community very nervous, which is most unnecessary. It's a community that contributes much more than its strength to the country. And do they not want that contribution? Why are they targeting it? That is what I ask. It is a community that, as I said in my article, punches above its weight. It has done a lot of work in the health and education sectors. And in the defense sector, we have a number of very prominent officers who are there in the past as well as at present. Why are they targeting the Christian community? That is the question I want to know.
Sir, but Mr. Ribeiro, I'm going to quote very explicitly. In your article, you say, "The outburst by RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat against Mother Teresa has put me back on their hit list." You also say, "Today in my 86th year, I feel threatened, not wanted, reduced to a stranger in my own country." So clearly you are making very strong comments in that article, signed article in a newspaper today.
You see, this might be slight exaggeration, but unless you exaggerate, you are a writer also. You know that unless you're not heard. You have to be heard, and the voice has to be heard very plainly and clearly. That look, you are going on the wrong path. Please don't make our country another Pakistan. In Pakistan, you know what is happening. It is almost on the brink of becoming a failed state. Why do you want to lead our country also on that path? This is a country that could be really the best in the region and one of the best in the world, and it has all the potential for that. But then by putting people against each other, by making them unwanted, feeling unwanted, you are only doing a disservice.
But so the fact is that just a few weeks ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a strong statement to say that no one would be discriminated on religious grounds, condemned the attack on churches, promised to act against those who targeted a community. Do you not have any faith in Prime Minister Modi's words, sir?
I was very happy to read that. In fact, I had immediately my confidence level went up considerably. But then I found after a few days, Mohan Bhagwat talking about Mother Teresa in a most derogatory manner. Of course, he has done it earlier also. But if you are so bothered about conversions, I mean, look, conversions don't happen in this manner. There are no mass conversions. There are no conversions that happened 400-500 years ago. That is all a matter of the past. There is some individuals who might get converted because they feel that this is such a good person that we must follow the religion that person follows. But these are rare cases. Personally, I am against conversions. I don't think anybody needs to be converted. They should be better human beings. That is what is more important. Every religion teaches you to be a better human being. So if they take the lesson of their own religion, I think it is much better. But to be so bothered about the Christians because they are supposed to be converting, I don't see mass conversions everywhere. Now, mass conversions, if they do take place, I agree that there is a problem of social, the whole social structure gets affected in that particular area. So, but now the Sangh Parivar has said that they are going to establish a unit of the Bajrang Dal in Goa to see that the people who were converted 500 years ago are now reconverted. Now, what is the necessity of talking all this nonsense? But they should be stopped in their track.
But Mr. Ribeiro, with due respect, sir, is there a growing paranoia among the Christian community, among people like in which you also may be trapped, that any attack on a church, even if it is an attack of vandalism, this tragic gang rape of a nun, or even a stray statement by a Hindu leader, is it being seen as an attack on an entire community? Is that fair? Mr. Ribeiro?
No, that is possible. I mean, I agree that, but then there are too many of them. Why are they all come together at this very moment? Now, before this government came into power, also people used to talk in that manner. But then nobody got paranoid, as you said, about it. But now, when the government is in power, they are there to show that they are going to bother about development, about jobs. This is what they should concentrate on. Instead of concentrating on that, we are talking about ghar wapsi, we are talking about love jihad. That is what really bothers people. And I think that when I meet my own community people, either in church or at social functions, that is what they are talking about. They are wondering what is happening. And that is what worries me. Because many of them voted for the BJP in this election. I know that in Bandra, the MLA was elected mainly on Christian votes. And he's a good person, I agree. He's a very good person. That also I agree.
You know, but the attack on Mother Teresa, you write about it, you seem to have been particularly angered by the manner in which Mother Teresa has been attacked by Mohan Bhagwat.
Well, Mother Teresa's problem is that they think that she converted people. I don't think that she was out to convert. She might have wanted, I mean, she's a missionary after all. She's a Christian missionary and she really believes in the power of Jesus Christ. So she would have been very happy, I presume, if somebody got converted. But that she went out of her way and induced them to become Christians is not true. That is absolutely untrue.
The Sangh Parivar, Mr. Ribeiro, has called for a debate on conversions. The government says they are ready to bring in a law to ban conversions. Do you believe the country now needs such a law?
But how can you ban conversions? I mean, look, suppose I want to become a Hindu tomorrow, I want to become a Muslim. How can you stop me? I mean, that is my personal choice. I mean, if you say that people go around beating up persons and saying you have to get converted, that there is no need of a ban. I mean, this already it's an offense under the law. And if you go and give some inducement and try to do that, there is also cheating. So that is also prohibited under the law. So the bans cannot come. So if some individual wants to change his religion, who is the state to say that you can't do that? That is ridiculous. I don't think it happens in any part of the world. I have seen in Portugal, even some people whose ancestors came and converted my ancestors, they have become Hindus and they dance on the roads with their shendis and dhotis, and that's fine. I mean, nobody bothers, and people are quite comfortable with that. I don't think that we should be so paranoid about that all itself.
But you write at the end of the article, Mr. Ribeiro, that you have faith in the goodness of the average Indian. Surely then you must feel safe in the silent majority rather than being intimidated by a vocal majority. Why allow a noisy few now to hijack the narrative of a peaceful, tolerant India?
Look, I have absolute faith. I know personally most of my people who have great faith and respect for me are all Hindus. And they are my brothers and sisters. And wherever I go, I am accepted very, 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 very cordially. But you know, there is a problem about what they call in police herd mentality. The herd mentality, mob mentality. If they are induced to become part of that mob, then they turn. Even an ordinary person who can't think correctly at that time. So this is what they are likely to do with the way they talk and the way they behave. That is what I am worried about. Otherwise, a normal Hindu and a normal Indian is not going to get swayed by this type of talk. But then if they get part of a mob, then it's very, very dangerous. And I tell you again that if it is a mob of the majority community, is much more dangerous than a mob of a minority community.
You are a proud Indian, Mr. Ribeiro, and a proud Goan. So let me ask you this in conclusion. Are you proud of your Hindu roots and your Christian identity? Shouldn't Goa then be seen as an example of a multi-religious India? Is that the message, in a sense, that you were trying to give, that the Goa model should be replicated across this country?
See, Rajdeep, I never thought about it this way. For me, everybody is the same. They are my brothers and sisters. I don't differentiate between a Hindu and a Christian. If a Hindu is a good person and the Christian is a bad person, I would prefer the Hindu. And I have no problem about religion. And I personally am not a very religious person as such. That means I don't believe in religiosity. So that is a given. Now, in Goa, I mean, there was never any problem between Hindus and Christians. They went about that business and they treated each other. They had the same language and everything, except that they went to church. The Christians went to church. On some of them, of course, didn't go. My grandfather, for example, never went. So it's these are problems that are individual problems, and religion. I don't think that religion really mattered. But now they are making it an issue, and that is what is really worrying me.
Mr. Julio Ribeiro, I appreciate your joining us. I've taken you tonight at the top of the program just to give us a sense of wisdom to what is happening around us. And as I said, one of those instances that is happening around us, which has led us to take this up right at the top, is that big story that is still building up in Bengal. Remember, a 71-year-old nun has been gang raped in Bengal's Nadia district. The anger has spilled onto the streets now. Highways have been blocked this evening. Mamata Banerjee has herself, who has come there, her convoy was blocked. There have been sloganeering against the West Bengal Chief Minister, asking her to go back at the moment. Joining me now, Derek O'Brien, the Trinamool Congress MP and their leader in the Rajya Sabha. Appreciate your joining us there, Mr. O'Brien. It appears at the moment that your government is blaming everyone else but itself for what clearly is a crime and one where you still haven't been able to arrest the culprits. Why are you blaming everyone else but your own government's failure?
Rajdeep, this incident happened on Saturday morning. First, let me thank you for giving me this opportunity to give you the facts. This incident happened early on Saturday morning. By 8 o'clock in the morning, the police got to know about it at 6 o'clock and they were at the school. But by 8 o'clock in the morning, the Chief Minister knew about it. By 11 a.m. the same morning, I was in touch with the Convent of Jesus and Mary Sisters. In fact, I was in Delhi and still am. By 11 o'clock in the morning, a CID probe was ordered. Number two, in 24 hours or 36 hours, 7 people have been detained. We have been in constant touch. We have been in constant touch with the highest officials of the church, as well as on an hourly basis in touch with the sisters of the Convent of Jesus and Mary, both in Delhi and in Ranaghat.
Mr. O'Brien,
we have got
Mr. O'Brien, even so, your West Bengal State Minister for Urban Affairs, Firhad Hakim, while condemning the attack, has sought to already link it to the Sangh Parivar's Ghar Wapsi program. Now, surely this is not an occasion to link it to the Ghar Wapsi program. As I said, and I use that with Mr. Ribeiro as well, paranoia is not going to reduce the trust deficit. We need action. We need the culprits to be caught, identified and arrested. Why link it to Ghar Wapsi?
We are absolutely on the same page as you, Rajdeep. I will tell you. Give me a few minutes to talk to you very frankly on this. We have been working, the CID probe has been working. The footage of the criminal, of those heinous, those culprits have been seen. So the police is on the job. Number two, I raised this even in 0 hour in Parliament. This is normally not done because I'm from Bengal, so I wouldn't normally we raised it. I have a point to make, and I'm glad you asked me this, because what happened this evening was pure politics. Mamata Banerjee went, met the sister. We kept it all under wraps because we didn't want to make this into a television event. We spoke to the sisters. They were so happy to have Mamata there. And on her way back, this was pure dirty politics. Now I want to make a point to you. My colleague made a point 3 days ago. I was on a different track. Let me tell you, I want to make, the CID is doing their job. But I am not ruling out what I'm telling you now. Is there a trend? Let me give you a few facts. Number one, the Bengal elections are in 1 month's time. Is there a trend? Is there a pattern? What happens? You create a communal incident. I'm not saying this is possible, but there's a very good chance.
You are politicizing it. Derek O'Brien, let us not till the culprits are caught, till they are arrested. I don't think you or I have the right to link it to a communal incident or link it to the elections of 1 month. That is unfair.
Very good. Very good. I will tell you what is fair then. You're asking me about action. A church in Delhi was burnt on the 1st of December 2014. It's been 100 days since the burning of St. Sebastian Church in Delhi. My simple question, in 100 days, has one person been detained? One. Leave alone 8. 8 people have been detained.
Mr. O'Brien, let's not now say what has Delhi government done, what has Narendra Modi. I want to know what Mamata Banerjee has done. The fact is you are ranked third in crimes against women according to the 2013 report released by the National Crime Records Bureau. That's what the report says. There have been horrific rapes since you've come to power. The Kamduni gang rape in 2013 where a 20-year-old college girl was abducted. The dreadful incident at the Madhyagram gang rape where a 16-year-old girl was gang raped. And of course the Park Street case. So let's focus on this as a crime against a woman. Are you going to see it as a crime against a Christian minority?
Not at all. Not at all. I want to put on record what the CID and what the West Bengal government have done in the last 48 hours, 72 hours. Please check out, firstly look at the rumour mongering which is happening. Let me at least use your channel to the sister Janet of Convent of Jesus and Mary Delhi clarified 3 things today which are running in the media. Number 1, that the nun resisted the dacoits or criminals. That is incorrect. She did not. She handed over the keys. I'm glad you're giving me a chance to clarify. Number 2, that there was 10-12 lakhs of rupees lying in the school. Incorrect. That there was only 3 or 4 lakhs. Number 3, that a security guard was sacked 1 month before the election. Incorrect. Nobody was sacked. The security guard was retired. These are the facts. Number 4.
No, but the fact
all
could be
over
this
on
is a
the WhatsApp
robbery. The fact is this could be a robbery which has
course.
also had the
I am
tragic
not-
consequence of this gang rape. Therefore, to give it a communal color at this stage would be wrong.
I am not giving it a communal color. It
You're
could be
linking
a
it to the
robbery.
elections.
It could be one of many things. I am suggesting one thing today, Rajdeep. First, there was rumor mongering that the sisters of Convent of Jesus and Mary, when I went to their solidarity meet, instead of saying a prayer, interestingly, Sister Janet, the principal of the school here in Delhi, said, I won't say the prayer today, I will read the facts of the case. And the fourth fact, a rumor was spread across the WhatsApp and the internet that the sister who was allegedly gang raped had passed away. Now there is a pattern to this. I'm not coming to any conclusions. I'm waiting for the CIT to do the job, and I believe what Mamata Banerjee has said. We will do whatever it takes to find those criminals.
Okay, I'm going to take your assurance on that, because at the end of the day, Derek O'Brien, that's the assurance that the church wants. That's the assurance I think every Indian wants, because a gang rape of a 71-year-old nun is not just an attack on a community or it is an attack on society. And I hope that you will see it as that, and you will see it as part of your government must try and see that it's record on crimes against women. It is a question which will be raised in that context, not just a crime against a nun.
Yes, absolutely, Rajdeep. In fact, as I said today earlier, it's not a crime against a nun, it's a crime against humanity. It's not even a crime in a Christian institution, because think of all the students of the country who've been to these wonderful institutions.
Right.
You know, I'm just coming back so touched, because last night I spoke to the Mother Superior who's come down from Rome, and what she told me, I mean, I didn't have words, because here was I all angry and all aggressive, and she said, listen, Derek, this is the Sister Monica, who's the worldwide head of CJM.
Yes.
She says, we have to forgive the criminals. I said, you want to forgive them and that, but allow us to do our job. We have to find these guys.
Well, we will test you. You have to find them. 3 days have gone, Derek O'Brien.
Yes.
Arrests have not been made. The fact is that you need to arrest
7
those
detentions.
people and ensure that they are convicted. Derek O'Brien, appreciate your joining us and giving us your Trinamool Congress perspective there. My take, where do I stand? It would be wrong to see every attack on a church or a nun as communal. Paranoia will not reduce the trust deficit. But there is also a reality which the Julio Ribeiro article has captured so well. From Nadia to Delhi, a community today is feeling unsafe. Christians need a reach out today, not being labeled or targeted.